Welcome to a Calvinian architecture on a cold Mildura Saturday afternoon. Today I'm reading verse 2 and 3 from the third octave, 6th chapter, Sofronia. The book is titled Calvinian Architecture, and it's divided into a number of octaves, 7 octaves. Each octave is divided into a number of chapters, and each chapter into 3 verses. The first verse is my translation of an Italo-Calvino Invisible City, and verse 2 and 3 are stories about either journeys I've made or houses I've wanted to live in. Today, verse 2 is of a journey. You're walking along the sandy trails that follow the cliff's edges, looking out over the southern Pacific. The wind bends everything, bushes, small trees, wild grasses. Birds fly in and out of them. You climb down some rocks onto a ledge, and right underneath is a waterfall. It's been raining for a week, and the creeks and gullies are pouring water out over the rocks into the ocean. Suddenly you think, so this is Australia. You're not sure why that thought comes, but it's clear and simple. This is Australia. Then you think of Edward Prater, an Aboriginal stockman who during a sudden flood came across a waterfall, a body of water tumbling down upon him. And his horse right there at that very moment, frightened by the river's frantic swirling, by its desperate searching for lower ground, bucked and turned, dislodging its rider. Edward never rode again. Edward never walked again. Years later, he asked to be taken back to that roaring river, now reduced by the weather's whimsy to a billabong. He then painted the billabong 3 times, holding the brush in his mouth. You come across those 3 paintings at an exhibition at the Sydney Town Hall in 1989, and you buy them. Now you're standing in front of this rock watching water tumble down incessantly. You want to stand under the waterfall. You want to feel icy water tumbling over your legs. You wonder what it would be like to have them go numb. You walk over and let the water fall on your feet, and then your legs. Soon you're under it, and then you start singing. You sing, once a jolly swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree. But there's something wrong with this. You don't know what it is, but it's not right. Suddenly you begin to sing it in Italian. C'era una volta un jolly swagman accampato presso un billabong sotto l'ombra di un albero di coolabah. That feels better. You're standing under an icy waterfall singing Waltzing Matilda in Italian, looking out over the ocean, thinking of Edward Prater. You can even now see the horse, bridle flying, bucking, rearing, dislodging its rider. Your limbs slowly freeze over. Your voice shakes with cold or joy. Verse 3. A tiny cottage at Bundina. The only way to get there is by ferry from Cronulla. You get to Cronulla by train, or you drive through the Royal National Park, past the airport and Sutherland. The cottage is made of timber, and it's home to 1,000,000 cockroaches. But it doesn't seem to matter. The store's within walking distance and it's so very, very quiet. All the myriad southern, dramatically forceful winds sweep the sky clear as soon as any clouds threaten to bunch up anywhere in it. Eagles, ospreys, all kinds of birds fly in it. From the front garden you can see the ferry coming or going every hour. There are no footpaths, just green grass, cut so it's pleasant to walk on. I call Hele in Patmos from the living room as I watch the last ferry manoeuvre out of the little bay and make its way to Cronulla. The clouds are a bright pink, high up in the powder blue sky, turning then to a fierce orange just above the tree line. "What are you looking at?" she asks. "What can you see?" Just then, just at the very instant, a swallow darts inside through the open front door and past my head. I notice that the water in the vase has gone milky red, and the mass of clouds and sky that burned orange only a second ago is now a deep aquamarine. I look down sometimes after I finish reading because I'm not sure who it is that's written what I've read. 20 years ago is not the person that is on your screen. Another me, a former me. So very strange, so very intriguing to read these accounts of his life. It will be intriguing to read his accounts in the 3rd octave, 7th chapter. The city is Eutropia. Tomorrow afternoon when we meet again, somewhere in my studio or garden, depending on the weather. Thank you for listening. I and he will see you again tomorrow. Until then.